6 Common Text Structures in Middle School. A Close Reading and Text-Dependent Analysis Curriculum. Copyright Luke Sullivan, 2020. This series examines 6 common nonfiction text structures: description, sequence, chronological, compare and contrast, cause and effect, problem and solution. Text structure is the term used to describe the way the information is organized in a passage. Think of it as a flowchart. The text structure we're working with today is a problem and solution passage. The author presents information and summarizes it as a problem. Then the author describes the solution. Both the problem and the solution are the central idea of the passage. The text we'll use today is Chocolate from Children by Deb Dunn with a Lexile level of 920. Here's the prompt. The passage, Chocolate from Children, describes what it is like for a child to work in a cocoa field. Write an essay analyzing how the text structure develops the central idea. Use evidence from the text to support your response. The prompt identifies 2 text elements that need to be examined for their interrelationships: text structure and the central idea. It could look like this. We know we're working with a problem and solution text structure, so we'll put that in right now, but we'll have to identify the central idea as we read. The reading technique we'll use is called close reading. This technique stresses determining a purpose before reading. The purpose for the first read is to get the gist of the passage. What's the topic, and what are the big ideas? At the end of each paragraph, write a word or phrase to summarize the information. After you have finished the passage, copy the gist phrases as sentences in your journal. This is a summary of the passage. These are text-dependent questions that only require a surface read. They're a good way to judge understanding of the what was said. The purpose for the second read is to examine the author's craft. How is it written? This read is done stop and start. The reader identifies the elements of the informational text structure and writes them in the left margin of the text. I know that the author used a problem and solution text structure, so I want to identify how and where the problem is presented and how and where the solution is presented. I also want to identify other informational text features. Before moving on to the third read, take time to think of the effect of the author's craft. The author chose to present her ideas with these techniques. Why? How does Sameta's story in paragraph 2 contribute to the text? How did the statistics in paragraph 3 contribute to the text? The purpose for the third read is to identify the interrelationships between the 2 text elements identified in the prompt: the problem and solution text structure and the central idea. This read is a skip and target. You have a good idea of what the passage says and how it says it. Now you're drawing conclusions as to why the author used these text elements to tell her story. The third read is where you'll choose the text you'll use to complete your graphic organizer. This is the evidence you'll use to support your essay. For example, I want to use the text about Sameta. I know that this is a part of the text structure that is persuading the reader that there is a problem with child labor in the chocolate fields. Sameta's story is a real-life example that the reader can relate to for dramatic impact. It's not an abstract idea, but a real person suffering and struggling. You complete your graphic organizer. The last step of the work is to use the information from your graphic organizer to write an essay sharing your thoughts. The first sentence or sentences of your essay uses words from the prompt and serves as a simple assertion. I've also included what kind of text structure and what the central idea is. The information from each row of the graphic organizer is used to complete a big idea paragraph. The writer organizes the big idea paragraph beginning with the quotation or paraphrase, developing with the text structure inference, and then explaining how it serves the author's purpose. Use the information from your graphic organizer to write 3 big idea paragraphs. The last section of the essay is the conclusion. A younger writer will repeat the information from the opening paragraph. An older writer will also echo the opening, The student now reads her completed essay twice. The first read uses a lens focused on the interrelationships between the two elements. Can her big idea paragraphs fit in here? The second read uses the lens of grammar and writing conventions. Good job!